Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to what will be a series of instructional videos from Enkompas BI. Enkompas BI is an organization committed solely to working with agencies in the human services industry. Enkompas BI has a software suite of modules that can be set up for any agency that can bring data feeds from disparate systems and sources for the first time ever to be able to produce dashboards and reports that'll drive organizational efficiency and change on an ongoing basis. Today, we have Alan Benson, CEO of Lakeshore Community Services. Lakeshore engaged Enkompas to implement all 13 business intelligence modules, but we will only focus on a targeted area with this video. Our CEO, Scott Bachik, will spend a few minutes discussing some of the detailed outcomes Alan is looking to realize by utilizing our platform. So allow me to introduce Alan Benson, Chief Executive Officer of Lakeshore Community Services, with headquarters in Erie, Pennsylvania, and locations across northwest of PA, and Scott Bachik, our very own CEO of Enkompas BI.
Thank you, Chris, and Alan, thank you for joining us today. As we go through this brief case study, we kind of wanted to start with a little bit of a situation overview, which many of you are all aware of and up to speed with the impact of COVID that's hit our country and world. So, as we look at that and as we look at that in the context of the human services industry, there's been a number of things. It has created a lot of change and uncertainty. Operational adjustments had to have been made, both from methods and models of how you operate the organization. There's been a number of reporting and financial process and procedure changes and requirements that are now added to providers. And it has created a number of challenging communication and organizational alignment issues. As this all hit, it is kind of the framework or the groundwork of what we're going to talk today about with Lakeshore and what they did to kind of look at this and adjust and react to this to be able to operate at a better level. And with that being said, we're going to dive into it here, and we'll start with what the objectives were for Lakeshore. And I'm going to hand this over to Alan, and he's going to walk through what their goals were and what they were trying to accomplish. So, Alan?
Thanks, Scott. Well, like many providers, we were faced with a whole litany of challenges when COVID struck. We were fortunate that we didn't have to overcome the technology aspect of working remotely. We sent 6 laptops home with a few unplanned staff, and we were able to operate. That being said, COVID presented us with a whole litany, as I said, a whole litany of problems. One of those that was presented was trying to manage all the components of the reporting requirements for PPE or the PPP loan and the supply chain and facilitating the virus, being ready for the virus. We wanted to try to automate that in a way that we could track and monitor our staffing and supply costs related to COVID, as well as our normal operating expenditures. We wanted to create a reporting structure that informed our key stakeholders and managers that made the information transparent. That coupled with wanting to better understand our supply chain activity, the associated costs by our regional areas and regional offices and our individualized programs, as well as the specific supply categories. So that's what we were trying to accomplish.
Perfect. Thank you, Alan. So, as you guys looked at all the challenges that you were faced and what you wanted to accomplish out of that, you began to look at solutions or different things that could help the organization. And so as you went through that, why did you choose business intelligence as one of the solutions to help position the organization to navigate this?
Sure. Lakeshore believes that the Power BI platform will create greater efficiencies for how we manage and report our data. We feel it'll provide information to enable us to make data-driven decisions in a timely and effective manner. This will allow us to facilitate access to data that will keep our management team aligned and operating on the same page in a pretty simplistic and concise format. We liked how it creates visuals that informs reviewers quickly and easily. No digging through data and spreadsheets.
Perfect. Yeah, and I think I think you guys hit the nail on the head. As we've worked with different organizations, the first piece that you look to do is to create automation, and in that automation, you gain efficiencies. Those efficiencies help the organization, and different players within the organization gain capacity to be able to do more things. At the same time as you're doing that, the BI technology, as you said, Alan, creates analytics and visuals that enable leaders and key stakeholders to look at information and understand what's happening within the organization much quicker. And at the end of the day, if it's supporting a data-driven decision-making process for leadership and others, that's how you want to be running the organization, not by intuition or guessing. So I think that's perfect. So let's go on to kind of really, one of our last questions. And as we look at the key points, and if you had to give advice to other providers that were going to begin this journey of using business intelligence to kind of create a data framework for the organization, knowing that you're still in your journey with BI, but what advice would you give other providers that are thinking about doing this?
Sure. Like every software deployment, or I should say major software deployment that we've done and learned from over the years, I think first and foremost, it's critical to get all the key players and stakeholders involved at the very beginning. Express your objectives, what you're trying to accomplish, and get buy-in to the project. Start with your end objective in mind, knowing that starting out small will allow you to get information in front of those folks and allow them to quickly adjust information in the format of the Power BI so you can expand it over time to achieve your final objective.
Yeah. Again, I think I completely agree. I think as organizations go through this process that's outlined here and hit those key points that you referenced, Alan, I think you find out a lot about your organization and how things are operating now, and it becomes a catalyst to help improvement within the organization. A lot of organizations sometimes are hesitant to start with BI because they say their data is bad. On the contrary, this process is how you help improve your data because you know what it is. You're visualizing it. You're seeing it. It helps you target areas where to improve the data and move the organization forward. So I think it's a good points that you're making to people. So it was quick today. I think. We wanted to highlight a couple key points for everybody. We didn't want to make this over lengthy. So, Alan, I appreciate your time. I appreciate all your thoughts and inputs and sharing it with others. I think I always use the phrase that Peter Drucker gave a long time ago, and it falls under the catalyst of you can't manage what you don't measure. So creating the data structure of your organization to be able to manage and move the organization forward is pivotal. So thanks, Alan. Again, thank you for your time and your thoughts and your insight. Chris, I'll hand it back to you, and you can wrap it up.
Sure. Thanks, Scott. And thank you very much, Alan, for participating with this instructional video. We will be developing our library further, and we will have more of these videos accessible via our website that will be brought out to the entire market space, actually. So with that, I'd like to thank everybody who did attend and view this. My contact information is available on that slide that you see, and I can be reached very easily to set up individual meetings to go a little deeper in terms of what your agency might want to see. Again, there are 13 different modules. We're only talking about one at this point. So there's quite a bit to cover. Thank you very much, everybody, and stay safe.